Gus again. So let's make a start. So you can see here, I did all this from 2022 to 2023, so it's about a year worth of work, but it's all very haphazard. So as you can see here, I labeled them as I go through the years. Well, one was back in, I think, 2006 or 7, something like that. So obviously it's nice to see them all when they're lined up side by side. So we'll make a start. Here we go. So yeah, so a lot of this stuff here is just ideas for stop motion films, you know what I mean, and various character designs, and like I get inspired sometimes by artwork I see online. So like this one here is like a evil genius one. Obviously I ended up doing School for Evil Geniuses, but you know, him taking his shopping back to his base there. But he has to, there's like a lava field and he has to jump from rock to rock to get there with his shopping. But although that, like, for example, that idea might be a bit of fun, like it has been sort of done before in sort of Megamind and Despicable Me, those kinds of films, so I won't necessarily go forward with a lot of these ideas, but it's just sort of fun stuff to play with, you know. Obviously I ended up going with this one, The Worm Talking About London. That was a film I did end up doing. Playing with a lot of this stuff in this sketchbook is about, you know, puppet designs, and I thought, what if I did puppets with the front was just latex and behind was wire, and I could just have them stretch their necks up, you know, and have it bend, and they could do these funny little bends and stuff. So we'll carry along. Various obviously ideas there, and some sketches. It's always nice to see some more thought out sketches of characters I could do. And you can see there bits and bobs. Once again, most of these like story ideas or copies of other artists. I think that's a Doug TenNapel copy. Yeah, here I'm playing with various mouth shapes and like what have I made it out of, what card I could use for stop motion, and how to different ways to do eyeballs and all the rest of it, sort of innovate a new concept. I mean, you can see here, this is a period when I was looking at puppets from Super Marionation ones, from old Thunderbirds and Four Feather Falls and all those old British puppet work, which in some ways, a lot of ways actually I prefer to the Muppets kind of style. You can have a kind of the little strings sometimes, which you can make obviously the eyes turn side to side and lips move up and down, if only a little, like in the likes of, you know, Four Feather Falls or Thunderbirds. Yeah, and different ideas of like how to do it, you know, how to produce them. So yeah, you can see here different ideas for, like, if I did the lips, you know, what if I had them made of latex, and the paper for mouths work quite well, but what if I had them latex, again using the wire technique behind, and I could move the mouth up and down with the latex, but obviously swap out the lips, because often lips are quite tricky in stop motion unless you're going to do, you know, spare no expense and do the Wallace and Gromit style, you know, claymation, but that takes ages. So I'm just finding other clever ways of doing it. You know, paper is always a really easy way, and you can paint the paper mouths to make them look three-dimensional, so you can do, well, you know, just working out all different styles of mouths and stuff I can do for mouths there. And obviously, you know, hand puppets, you know, do I have the wire coming up from the top, or do I have it coming up from below? A lot of this stuff I did before actually I did lot of the miniature puppets here. Like I've did obviously various little miniature stuff, like this is my new one, new little character I've been working on, and she's going to be just on a rod, and I can kind of just bop her up and down. This is the School for Evil Genius puppets, you know, they pop up and down, and that works quite well. Those little sets, tiny sets there. So yeah, we'll carry along. You know, it's just interesting the online go, oh, that interesting lip. What have I mean, I think this is an original. I think this is mine, but it's like if I have the lips at the bottom, that gives you freedom to have the bottom lip just at the very base of the mouth. And how would that work if you're, you know, manipulating the puppet in that way? And these sketches are often quite haphazard, because with this sketchbook what I found is I worked on one page, and then I would go and then just work on the next page, and then go work on the next page, and then I got through the whole book, and then I went backwards through the book working on this page, you know, and then working on this page. So it's kind of like one of those books where the story kind of goes around. As I said before, some of these are copies and some of these are originals from me. And, you know, story ideas, puppet ideas. I mean, I think I did this over Christmas 2022. I think, you know, I watched, what was it called, that snail. So I thought it was really fun for stop motion, those kind of big eyes and that kind of little mouth here you could do with paper or something, which obviously I ended up doing. That ended up becoming this character I did over Christmas. Up with my family. This became the basis, obviously, of the London Underground worm that comes out and talks. Obviously there's different ideas. Like I do an alien one, and I originally back in 2013 had an idea for an alien puppet just like this actually, but I didn't go with it in the end. Although stop motion didn't work, I couldn't get it working right. Obviously I know a lot more about it now, so that's almost like a harkening back to an earlier failed project. But insects are kind of fun because you can have massive eyes and very expressive, and also you can have them in physical, like that's about life size, isn't it? So you can imagine a pencil, or you could make the set out of real elements in the world, real world elements, which is kind of fun. Here again you can see me playing with what if I did the eyes on the top, middle, designs here of how to lay them out, bits and bobs. Here like a puppet that's a deodorant, various things. That looks quite nice there, that one there. And these I got quite inspired by I forget his name again, but he inspired a lot of the work on Toy Story, and he does these lovely gouache paintings. Obviously more sketches here, design ideas, how would I do things out of paper and clay and all the rest of it. Obviously some just written work, design work, just that's kind of fun. Dinosaurs are always popular. Mouths, I was watching some Incredibles, and I was like, okay, how could I do the mouths in different ways? And obviously that's very inspired, Incredibles. Snail, obviously snails was inspired by Turbo. There's a lot of fun ideas with snails in stop motion you could do. These are some copies of very either all, some, yeah, to be fair, these are all from all other different people who I quite like their art styles, and I thought they could transfer quite interestingly to stop motion. And these are quite interesting, these sketches here, because these sketches are a lot of these ones, like that one, are actually my own art, which I kind of drew again, that I kind of inspired me from over the many years that I thought would work well in stop motion. So it is useful to go over old sketchbooks and pick the highlights. I took photos of all the old sketches that I thought would work well in stop motion, because I wasn't always involved in stop motion industry. I did other things, and now I've got to redrawn them, but this time have them all on the same page, and you're like, okay, yeah, that could work for stop motion, yada yada yada. I mean, I did that, the original version of that sketch I did back in like 2007, so you can see at the time it was just a fun, goofy idea, but when you do stop motion, you're like, okay, there's so much more you could do with that. And this is like obviously a ladybug, but there's something quite characterful in his design. And I think that was one of my favourite books as a kid was A Fly Went By, and I love the design of the face of the bug, and it obviously works well with stop motion. And that design, I think, ended up inspiring the Spy Ant film I ended up doing. They have these massive white eyes and just these dots for the pupils, Here we go. I thought of these funny lip styles, more flatter style animation. Let's have a look here. Yeah, more playing. I'm sure you could these and sort of get ideas. I thought it would be fun to do an insect teacher, and I think one of the earlier seasons of Buffy had an insect teacher, and I thought that was kind of fun, cool, because obviously schools are a little like hives, aren't they? Everyone's, kind of following this sort of hierarchy that doesn't really, where does it go? And it's all for, sort of a hivey kind of insectoid place in some way, school. Speaking as a homeschooler. So I thought fun ideas with that. That actually might do well for School for Evil Geniuses character. I'm being inspired already. Some more concepts. There's a funny insect impossible. So we're watching a lot of the spy in Mission Impossible films, and I thought, what if you did it in insect version? So you had like each of the different characters. Praying mantis is like the tech guy, and dragonfly helicopter, and what was it? This little red ant, who was it like an ex-communist ant or something? Playing on funny ideas like that. And obviously the the Ladybug character coming back, but he's like a weapons specialist or something, and he's got all these different weapons hidden under his wings. You know, that kind of comedy. You can see already there. That's right out of the film I did, Spy Ant, where he's coming down Mission Impossible style to get a sugar cube, and I literally took that obviously idea straight out of this for my my film. So you can really see the genesis of a lot of these ideas here. This is another film be fun to do. It's called Evil Honest, and I thought it'd be funny if, and it's been done before. I mean, you know, Despicable Me's kind of done it, but if you had like obviously a family, but it's obviously the evil genius dad who's on a deserted island somewhere. He lives on the island with his family, and they're kind of in charge of the whole system. But he's you know, he's really hot. It's a really hot island, so he's wearing a kind of a suit top, a white suit top, for when he's doing like a film live stream to all the powers in the world about he's threatening them or whatever. But obviously if they pan back, it's like a really hot island he's on, so he's just wearing like swimming trunks or something at the bottom. That was fun. You know, so what else? More little fun ideas. Yeah, just bits and bobs here, little short ideas. Obviously I did my little what's it called, the little Fetus Reviews Godzilla, which was a bit of a play on scale. So I thought it would be funny to do like a fetus story, all the fetuses live, fetus world. Wacky and fun. Yeah, various other little ideas. Stupid guy becomes a spy and all sorts of fun story ideas. Some of these are copies. I don't think that's a copy. Yeah, see mouth swap outs, you know, paper. If have that out of paper, and what if I just popped another bit of paper on that kept the top layer, but changed the bottom layer. You can swap out the top. A lot of these ideas I didn't end up obviously going with, but I thought, you know, it wouldn't be fun. And that was inspired from I think a Steven Silver or something artwork that ended up actually, I sort of end up progressing that forward actually, inspired from his work. I think it was his work, and I went on obviously to do the Frank Lee little animation, which was a bit of fun. What have we got here? A little angel cherub goes on adventures. Now I've got these two sketchbooks together, so in some ways it's almost two done together, but obviously they're quite thin. The way I work, the sketchbooks are quite thin, so I kind of tether them together and they all come together as one. Again, more ideas for just characters, mouth shapes and stuff for puppetry. And obviously a lot of sketch work. These are more fine detailed. There we go, that's nicer. Various playing with ideas and ways of sketching. Fantasy illustration, colour pencils. I'm still learning a lot of stuff. Getting my colour pencils sorted. Playing with paints. The gouache I got into for a while because I like the style. I couldn't work I suddenly stopped being able to work pro markers because the smell of the alcohol was just too much for my head, so it gave me headaches. So I played with pencils more, and some of these work quite well. I was quite proud of that. And some of these are quite nice. Again, playing with rods, puppets and strings I can pull that move the legs, that make the legs look like they're walking and stuff. There we go, Rodney Matthews copy there, you can see. Yeah, some of these are copies as well. And playing with different paper, what textures look the best for the same design, you know. Sometimes if you do different designs all the time, you can't tell what materials work better, because obviously it's all about the style. So if you do different papers and different, you know, stuff, you can tell which ones work better, which ones don't. So look, various mouth playing. Obviously you can see here mouth shapes. You can pull that down, and obviously it makes the mouth open and close, you know. So playing with all those concepts. Eyebrows, doing the same for eyebrows, that can come up and come down. Here we go. Yeah, more concepts like what if I had a hand, little obviously head there, hand there, hand there, and just animated, really simple ideas of ways of, and obviously characters where I hold the head, the fingers are behind it, and the magnets move the eyebrows and stuff, and the mouth. Different ideas. Different characters. Sketches, so as I'm watching stuff on YouTube and I copy characters out. Yeah. So you can see here, that's it was done. That's a copy and that's a copy, but they're done with was it oil pastels, but the kind of I think it's the non. There's the smooth kind pastels, but obviously the oil pastels I think are a bit more have that oily texture to them, which could be quite nice for that childish illustration look. Which I thought, is there a way of doing that in stop motion? Might be fun. See just regular sketches here, which can be quite cool. These are copies. And this is it Mike Miller, the comic artist there, I think. And yeah, more little sketches. Goofy characters here. There's the Frank Lee, playing with ideas there. Is that working better? There we go. Ideas for the sets I could have. Yeah, more just lots of little ideas of ways of doing things, characters and stuff. This is my what's it called? Flee London ideas. Doing the lice that attack London, the Isle of Dogs, or New York, having lice attack New York. I'm still undecided entirely which way to go. And you're working out just characters, character plot, character story. King's Cross Underground, punks on King's Cross, playing with the king idea and the punk versus, and the character designs for the English punk, how he would look. The Flea London guy with his little fleas on his shirt. Funny little character designs. Yeah. Little angel designs. I was thinking of doing a little, what's his name? Saint Martin de Porres, or de Porres. I forget how to say his second name. But yes, so doing him out of cardboard and having him sweeping up the rubbish on the ground, and then an angel and a big dragon fight each other in the background. Showing he's sort of cleaning up the city, and there's this battle going on, and he's, is he doing good? And he's maybe protecting little mice, I think, because he's known for a connection to animals, so having mice there and he's protecting them, and meanwhile the angel's killing the dragon or demon, just ideas. This goes back to the Flea London one with the different character designs. I think he's like a cabbie, obviously in the army, that girl. Face designs. Yeah, another Flea London one. I kind of went up for that one with the main character. Various more designs for YouTube and such. Oh, there's a little Tower Bridge. And obviously doing puppetry, but on my body, so I can set up make a setup that can I can attach to me and do puppet shows. That was another idea. How to do them, different ways of doing them. Yeah, this is the School for Villains, so obviously I did actually make this eventually, but this was much more elaborate, where obviously it was sort of wasn't stop motion, but it was with miniatures, but I was working out, should I make them out of card, or obviously there's a full three-dimensional set there, which I didn't end up going for that. I ended up doing stuff you can see here. There is the little sets that you just have them silhouetted, and you have the character just bouncing up and down in front. This. What? That worked quite well. But it's interesting to see these other designs. There's obviously the character, the girl character, which I had the idea for that character from like 2007, I think. After watching, you can see where my inspiration was coming from. Obviously, all the old sort of kids' cartoons, a bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a bit of you know, everything else from that era. Obviously, Incredibles, very much Incredibles, a huge inspiration. And there is genius, evil genius characters there. There we go. And yeah, bits and bobs. So yeah, and over here, obviously, you have me. As the last page, I thought I'd attach these. These were little more better paper for using pro markers before they started to literally do my head in, using a lot of Steven Silver, a lot of inspiration from that artist for how, methods of using them. I quite like them because they have that quality. You can use them for what am I saying? They give that quality of like them done on the computer. They got really smooth, flat colors, but they're quite powerful, quite strong. And Steven Silver has some cool, like you can do like plaid jackets. You literally just have that crossed, and then you have the pencil mark crossed as well, and it gives that full-on plaid feel. See if you can guess. These are various real artists. Obviously Steven Silver, some lovely simple designs there that work quite well, and these are copies obviously, but it's really nice, and with the blacks for the eyes and the eyebrows and nowhere else, and it really is quite powerful and quite strong what they do with it. So these are kind of all studies off of his stuff. Obviously this is the one, and obviously we all know him, Mike. Is it Mike Mignola? Mignola. So his style, which I'm just sort of playing with a bit. I'm not hugely into his style, but it's just cool to have tried out his stuff. This is Humberto Ramos. He's got some nice graphic ideas where he designs his characters. And the colours, the way the colours work and where he places them. Kind of taking a lot off of that. And even the grass, I was made a note here, the grass is like French fries. Because often when I drew grass, or you have Bill Watterson, it's always like pointy. This is, yeah, and there you go. I give it away with it's Anthony Clark, obviously there. You see, I get the inks. I'm not amazing with body placement. My characters tend to be quite blobby, so if I wanted to get away with doing a graphic novel, I might have to do it all like Bone, where all the characters are almost like fluid characters. And this was another artist. I forget his name. I should have his name here somewhere. And that's about it. I'll put that back in there and set that up. So there you go. That's my sketchbook, and I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, have a good one. Take it easy.